we created a multi-purpose building, designed our own restaurant, and created a menu. We named our restaurant Bahia Carmesi, which means Crimson Bay in Spanish. So we picked Spain as the country we would study for this project. We had to basically pick a place that did not belong to the same continent either of us lived on. So, well, that was one reason why we picked Spain, and also we love the food from Spain, so it was like the perfect fit. So today we'll be showing you what our multi-purpose building looks like, and it has a restaurant there too. We'll be talking about Spanish history and culture, and we'll also be explaining why we added these foods on our menu.
Okay, so here's a little bit about Spain. In 1492, there were two kings in Spain, Aragon and Castile, and they formed together to create the country of Spain. And since then, they've been on the Iberian Peninsula. Spain used to be a colonial nation. Had a lot of colonies overseas, but in recent years, they lost that. They're a democracy. There's plenty of farmable land in Spain. There are coastal regions where a lot of fish is found. In the northern regions, a lot of poultry and pork and beef is eaten, but along the coast, a lot of fish is eaten.
So for our multi-purpose building, instead of building or locating our building in Spain, we decided to put a twist on it and place it in Miami. Originally, we were thinking of creating a big hotel that had a bunch of stories and a gigantic beach view. But then we talked to Mr. Payne about it, and he told us about an area in Miami Beach called Espanola Way, which is full of Spanish restaurants, and it really features Spanish culture there. So we decided it would be perfect to place our building there.
Yeah, so this is our restaurant, and we use a computer application called SketchUp, which basically allows us to create buildings and design whatever we want. So I'm going to be explaining some of the architecture. So in this picture, it's a bird's eye view from the top down. And you can see here there's a shingled roof that kind of slopes up. It's also red. Over in the back, there's a courtyard with a classic fountain. There's palm trees, and there's also dining areas for people to sit at. Over here and over here, you can see there's a big tower that kind of extrudes out of the building. Now we wanted to include this tower because it has kind of a flare, and also because we want some variation in the windows, because you can see there's different windows than the other sides of the building. Over here in the front, we have broad awnings, and this is because it gets pretty hot in Miami. We wanted shade for our eaters. Our logo is here. It's a little hard to see, but we have some big windows here, and that's because it gets hot in Miami. And also we want to look cooler in, and we want big views of Espanola Way. All over the building there are palm trees, because in Miami, palm trees are probably the most significant part. And finally, in the top here, you can see there's a semicircle arched window. Now, these aren't really common in Espanola Way, but we really thought it would be a good idea because every building there has its own flair or something special to it, and we thought that would be a good idea.
So on to the topic of Bahia Carmesi, our restaurant. So with the food on the menu, like I mentioned before, a lot of the foods are seafood, and that really helped inspire us with putting a theme into our restaurant. So the foods on our menu vary from traditional Spanish foods to more modern fusions. For example, with the beverages, we have a soda club cas, which is very popular in Spain currently. So we decided to put that so it would be really upbeat and current. And then we also have mate, which is not exactly a traditional Spanish tea, but a Latin American tea. We added that because in Miami Beach and Espanola Way, there's a lot of Latin American influence. So we decided to incorporate that to make it sort of more home to the people living there.
So what we prepared for you today are some bruschettas here. Now, these are Spanish because in our menu we have it with jamón ibérico, which is a Spanish ham. And we'd also have Wrath tomatoes, but due to limitations, because we're in Deerfield, Massachusetts, we couldn't get that. So we have some bruschettas. Now I'll take one and show you what's in it. Basically, it's crusted bread on the bottom. On the top, there's some tomatoes. We seasoned it with basil, salt, pepper, garlic, and also onions. On the bottom, there's prosciutto. And if you guys would like to have some, go ahead. And we also have vegetarian
Vegetarian ones, so.
Thanks.
Thank you.